Hey, Jeff Chavez and
John Lamb.
my main man, John Lamb. We're going to do a video podcast, episode 1. We're going to do a couple of these, hopefully throughout the year 2020. Just kind of an update on what we're doing and so forth.
Right.
Hey, John, first tell us about this great space we're in.
We are in the Nickel Manor, which started out life as the Avenue Baptist Church, nicknamed the Nickel Church because they raised a nickel per brick to build it. Built in 1882. We bought it about 10 years ago and have been working on it ever since. We also live upstairs. We have an event venue here on the main floor. My wife teaches yoga right where we're sitting. So we'll have to move all of this stuff out of the way.
Exactly.
And her art studio is across the, behind on the divider for us. She's quite a talented painter.
All right, cool. So it's the Nickel Manor right here on, tell us the address.
It's 501 Avenue A, Palestine, Texas.
There you go.
Right down the street from the courthouse, easy to find.
Thank you for letting us use it, John.
Oh, you're welcome. Left-handed.
I know, left-handed shake. So first off, tell us how you got into acting. How long have you been doing the acting and this kind of thing?
Well, I've been doing acting since the 60s, when I was a child. I got turned on to acting with You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Oh, sweet.
Long, long ago and far away. Well, not that far away.
Right.
And I graduated to grown-up roles. You can't say adult roles because that has a different connotation.
Right.
To grown-up roles when I was 15 and did Man of La Mancha in Port Arthur, Texas. And I've been rolling ever since, doing basically every job there is to do in theater and television and a couple little small, parts on movies. Nothing big.
How do you get to Lon Morris?
So I was planning to go to Texas A&M. I was all accepted, ready to go. Visiting my grandmother in Houston, my mother's mother, and they asked, well, why didn't he go to Lon Morris like you did? My parents had never told me that they'd gone to Lon Morris.
Wow.
So we're in Houston, visiting, right? We don't live there, in our car. And they say, well, you should really go check them out. So my mother and I called them from my grandmother's house. And the president of the college said, well, come on up. Mm-hmm. So I left my mother and my brother and somebody else there at my grandmother's house, and I drove the car up to Lon Morris over there in Jacksonville. They gave me a toothbrush and all of that sort of stuff. I didn't even have a change of clothes. Spent a couple days, came away, registered for school that fall.
Okay, but this time was it already known for Sandy Duncan and?
Oh yeah.
So it was already had a reputation.
Right, Ruth Alexander, who was a legend in stage productions, was there.
Tommy Toon.
Tommy Toon had been there. Rip Torn.
Rip Torn?
Yeah, he was only there for a very short time.
Yeah.
And of course, country entertainer
Neil
McCoy went there as well. I sang with him, but at the time we were singing barbershop quartet and classical madrigals. So,
so there you go. And then you never know, you could make it to a country star just by the littlest thing.
There you go.
Go ahead.
No.
I said myself. I had done I was always a jock and everything, and then Palestine did TV production, so I was more interested in the TV productions.
Yeah.
But that went on for a year. We made videos and all that, and then they stopped the program, and then somehow or another I got interested in acting. It was actually Tootsie, not for reasons you think. It was because they showed the auditioning.
Right.
And then there was one called that was the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, and Travolta was auditioning. So it was Staying Alive, yeah. So it was the accident, like going in there with your picture and that kind of thing. So I just walked into the Texas Theater after being fired up and seeing a couple of acting movies and just said, hey, how do I get started? Kenny Adams says, why don't you join us? We start next week. I didn't know anything. I said, okay. So I just had a little part in Alive and Kicking. And so that was my start, just right at the Texas Theater, just by walking in and asking. So it pays off to be brave, I think.
That's where I met you.
Yeah.
Was not during Alive and Kicking, but during Don't Drink the Water.
Right. So we skipped to the 88, Don't Drink the Water. You had come here to teach.
Right.
Right.
In 87.
And as most things in my life, after a breakup, I came back home, licked my wounds, and then I was like building my self-esteem. So I boxed. I did some boxing, and then got back into the theater, and that kind of, just skyrocketed me back into school and everything like that. So yeah. What was the next big thing as far as your acting in that? Well, you had a kid. And
actually, I let my wife do that.
Right. You let your wife
but
have a kid.
I helped her in that endeavor. He has turned, he's
Charlie.
a marvelous actor, Charlie.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's not doing anything right now. He's being a caregiver right now, which is a good thing to be doing.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. But no, I had my start in television long before that in Austin, and in theater all over the place, set design and directing, and I did some writing. When I was up here, I started taking some acting classes in Dallas.
Oh yeah.
Going back and forth,
yep.
and that led to some dinner theaters that worked the 4-state area, and Marquee Talent auditioned me, and they said, yeah. And as a matter of fact, here's a call out, and they gave me a number to call a photographer that they like to use, and
Right. I mean, you had Kim Dawson back then, Marquee, and Henny and Company, and they all knew each other. It was a pretty cool scene back then. I started in Houston in '91 with the agent bit.
Right.
I went to tried a semester at University of Houston.
Who was your first agent?
It wasn't Kim Dawson. I'll think of it in a second, but she's long passed since then.
Yeah.
And
were you at Katie Studios?
No, I started in Houston, everything professional.
Oh, okay.
So I did after I actually got some tape, some film,
Right.
then that got me the agent, and we did commercials and all that kind of thing.
And action.
So yeah, and that just took me from like the mid '90s into the 2000s and such, and got my sons doing some Barney, and I did some Barney, and
That's always fun. I did some industrials,
yeah, those rule.
and because you can get
the
some
weird
good
stuff,
money
yeah.
for 2-3 days shoot.
Yeah.
I did some voice work. Shot a couple of bad movies.
Yeah, it's all fun though.
I did one. It was.
Yeah.
It won awards. I don't want to say the name
Yeah.
of it. It won awards on the contest circuit, but overarchingly, unless you were watching it for the sake of analyzing it and doing that sort of stuff, it wasn't super entertaining to me.
Yeah.
There was some good things about it and some bad things about it. It was shot entirely locally, and there's a lot of that.
Well, we'll get back to reality here. So now, I mean, everything's on. We could just make a video like this, put it online. If anyone sees it, they like it. They don't, and that's just changed everything.
Oh yeah, the internet has changed the volume and quality, because before, anything that you could find amateur-wise was long access cable.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I did that too.
Horrible, grainy. Yes, I know. I mean, but yours was high quality.
Jeff Michaels Show. Hope everyone had a great week. I know I did. We got a great show for you today. Some Cajun-style boxing.
Welcome back to the John Lamb and Jeff Chavez Show, everybody. So we were saying, like, we're just going to catch up to these days. I mean, I went back to school in 2013, and I'd always been doing the acting, got my degree, and then the only thing they had there was news. I wanted to learn to edit, and they had news and found out I had a knack, so I've been in the news game since 2013, and now working at KLTV, and that's going pretty well.
KLTV's Tyler, right?
Yeah, Tyler. I worked in Corpus and Killeen and didn't really like it, but I like Channel 7 because they give me freedom to do, my kind of style, which is more of a documentary style kind of
Right.
shooting. But yeah, but most of my successes come through commercials, just being a dad and that, and then the broadcasting, and then also, unlike you, I can't sing or anything, but I have a talent for filming and editing. So
Right.
everyone has their gifts. John's a great singer. You've done several plays where you just
Right. I've done a lot of musicals. Yeah.
give us a little something now.
No.
After all, if I could sing, I would.
Well, I sing in the show that we're doing now at the Texas Theater,
The Tune of Christmas.
The Tune of Christmas.
Well, tell us
it's
about
not
that.
a musical, but one of the characters sings, and he's kind of a mope about character, and all of a sudden he breaks out into a song. So it's gonna be fun.
Well, tell us about. I mean, how'd you get into Tune of Christmas? Because that's a big thing. It's a lot of characters, and tell us a little bit about
Right.
the actual acting part of it.
Well, 6 years ago, excuse me, Jerry Goodwin and I did Tuna, Texas.
Okay.
Which is two
That's-
guys.
That's the main play, yeah.
That's the main play. That's the original play.
Right.
Two guys who play everybody in the town of Tuna, Texas. Young, old, male, female.
Right.
All right. So I am an ugly woman, which if you want to find out, come and see the show. You will see me I'm an ugly woman. And then, you come in and I'm like, oh, hi there, I'm Aunt Pearl. And if you listen to Aunt Pearl, she sounds just like my Aunt Pearl.
All right.
And unfortunately for her, it looks just like her and my Aunt Pearl too. And it is the story of the intrigue and the goings on in this town. Tuna Christmas is part 2, where it's one day. It's not even over several days. It's one day in the life of this town, and it's pretty funny.
When you do something like that, do you, as an actor, create a little backstory? Is it already written for you? Like maybe their husband passed away, or their
some of it is in the script.
Some of it's in the script,
but
on the
if it's
page,
not,
as they say.
Yeah, but if it's not, you have to create it, and you have to embellish even what's on the script. And how did they react? How did they feel? Why are they where they are in their lives? And that way you can put the inflection. It's not just saying the words so that they make sense. You've got to bring, or try to bring, that character to life. And in a show like this, you also have to differentiate those characters a great deal. I play 3 different female characters in this. And at one point, I'm having an argument with myself
Please tell me we
on
have
stage with a male and a female, as a male and a female.
We've got a picture of you, right? Dressed up as the lady, the old lady.
Yeah, go to my Facebook page,
Yeah.
John Lamb, there in Palestine, and check out my photos, and you can see photos from the original Tuna production and what we looked like. And this time I also get to play I Need a Good One. And he plays Helen Bed. We're 2 waitresses.
I Need a Good One in Helen Bed.
That's right. And these guys that wrote the Tuna stories, they're just hilarious.
Are they still around? Are they still doing?
They're still doing. I think they may have. I don't know. You know what? I don't know.
Because I
think they split their partnership up, but I don't know that.
It's been the show's at least 20-something years old. If
I don't
not
know.
older?
It's been around a while.
It's been around a while. Well, so we're caught up,
Right.
and then we'll check back in after all this happens, after the
Right.
radio show and all that. And I've still got football season. We got 2 more weeks of the Red Zone, and then hopefully Longview will go to state, and hope to do my own projects and all that. And in the meantime, I'm owned by KLTV. So welcome to the Jeff Michaels Show, everybody. 2020. But yeah, John, thanks a lot.
All right. Good to see you, man.
Hey, tell us how again. Plug
plug the Nickel Manor.
The Nickel Manor.
Palestine, Texas, available for, parties, plays, productions. Count your gold here, for a small cut, whatever. And we have Living Arts Yoga here and Art by Candle.